Welcome to Push with Love. Today we have Jeremy Eichenberger. Jeremy, how are you doing today?
Doing great, man. Appreciate you bringing me on.
Thank you. Thank you for showing up. I appreciate it. Now, I know that you are traveling at the moment, but you also have produced a book on your experience. Can you kind of go into what the book is about and maybe share a little bit about it?
Yeah, my book, An Odyssey of Oddities, right here, this one. It's kind of about my life and all the lessons I learned by doing things the hardest possible way because I didn't learn lessons like many other people. I had to touch the fire a few times before I learned something. So
Yeah.
I feel like there's a lot of people out there like that, maybe.
Oh yeah. Yeah. No, I completely relate. I'm admittedly the same way. I learn things by doing it over and over and over again, and then eventually I start to get it. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
countless times.
So if I can kind of prod a little bit about the background or the inspiration of this book, can you kind of share a little bit about where it started, where your mindset was when you were deciding you wanted to write a book?
So I've always had kind of a crazy life. Like it was definitely abnormal from day one. But as I progressed into young adulthood, I became a parent early, which was exciting and terrifying. Uh, that's a majority of my experience is that it was exciting and terrifying because you made a human. And I wasn't a great parent, but I wanted I wanted him to know that regardless of the situation, no matter what happened, I wanted to impart like some kind of wisdom, and at the time, I drank and I dabbled in other substances, we'll say. And there was always the possibility, right, of that punching my ticket or the kind of people I hung out with or the activities that I participated in punching my ticket. So I wanted to have some kind of documentation, advice, something, regardless of the situation, good, bad, or indifferent, didn't matter, for him to read in case something happened. And it started off as like just a bunch of sloppy letters, and they were written poorly in this big gold book I had. And then several other sheets of loose leaf paper for whatever reason. So originally it started off as kind of like life lessons, like things that I had learned the hard way, but I wanted to kind of build a cheat sheet for him growing up, in a sense. Also, I wanted to make it very clear that I had put myself in those situations. So regardless of what happened or whoever said what, I didn't want him to blame himself because I was very foolish. I did a lot of really stupid things and not for nothing. Like I just did it cuz it was just part of my life. Like I had no good reason for 99% of the things I did. It was just how I lived.
Hmm.
And uh, even saying it out loud makes me cringe. Like it gives me the ick. It's like,
Yeah.
man, you are such a fool.
No, no, I mean that's really the whole point of being young is being foolish, so that we learn all those great lessons.
Yeah, I just, in retrospect, looking back, there was a lot of things I did that I didn't need to do, right? And we had talked about this in previous calls. Like, I I would portray a character for people
Mm.
frequently, and that would lead me down my own adventure that I wasn't necessarily a part of the adventure, but because I wanted to be a part of that group or whatever. I was in, as long as I played that character. But, you know,
Yeah, no,
uh,
I totally get it. I can relate, and that masking is almost like a safety net. It's like a way to kind of feel safe in a group, especially when you don't really have anyone. You just need somebody. You need a group.
Well, I think a
That's good.
lot of us experience that.
Yeah.
I think a lot of us have no clue who we are, and the thought of figuring it out is so much more terrifying than just kind of going with the flow. And I mean, you
Oh
could
yeah.
take that all the way, because I can remember clearly all the way back to middle school where I was like, okay, you're a nerd. That's not going to work here. Find something that people are going to like and not think that you're a nerd. like, like, kind of getting tired of getting beat up here, man. This kind of sucks. So I got to find something cool.
Yeah. Yeah. Survival. I mean, and it's completely natural. Everybody has that response, especially when you feel a little bit outcasted. You're like, I got to find a solution to this problem. I'm not liking this.
Yeah, and I mean, I can remember as far back as middle school, like even my friends were kind of dorks, like I was in chess club, like I didn't help myself by any means whatsoever. And I understand that. But at the same time, I also didn't create problems. So I didn't understand why problems were delivered at my front door. But when they were, and then I would lose or I would get in trouble for them, my stepdad would kick the crap out of me too for losing or getting in trouble. So it was like you couldn't win no matter what. Like you were wrong all the time.
Mm,
So I was
yeah.
wrong at school and I was wrong at home. And it was just like, I don't know what to do.
Yeah. Yeah. Rock
So
and hard place.
pretty much.
Yeah. Which it makes sense. I mean, a lot of people do kind of fall into that position when they're young, especially if you're not, guided in a certain way, um, or at least mentored.
Yeah, no, I had mentors of sorts. My real dad was in my life, and he did teach me a lot of valuable skills. And like, I had a neighbor named James who taught me a lot of valuable skills. But like any other teenage kid, man, I honestly I appreciated what they did, but at the same time, I just assumed I knew everything and I didn't need their help, or I was going to do it anyway, and then just ask for forgiveness later, or a combination of both, column A, column B. Like
Yeah. Typical teenage stuff.
yeah. So
Yeah.
I mean, I, none of it was really that bad. Like I never really got in that much trouble until I was a lot older, and then it kind of it got to be kind of a problem.
Yeah. Yeah. So it was almost like it was things that were kind of showing up later on in life because of uh, not being addressed, or maybe things that were being neglected, and they just kind of happened to show up eventually.
Yeah, well, and that was the thing is like I realized how easy it was to fit in to these like obscure outskirt groups. You know what I mean? There wasn't really a lot of requirements. I talk about it in the book. Like there's not like a checklist, to join the stoner skater punk rocker crowd. Like they don't care.
Yeah.
You're weird, I'm weird. Cool, you're in, like and they're great people. They really are because it's just like a melting pot of everybody that doesn't fit in anywhere. And there's like a simplistic beauty in that dynamic. But the other part of that, the flip side, is that they're immediately targeted. A lot of them are really poor students or don't care, or they really, really just are there to just F things up just because, which is, don't get me wrong. I mean, I get the whole mentality, but at the same time, like, I'm not trying to go to prison, like,
Yeah.
nah, I'm too short and too funny to go to prison. That ain't gonna work for me.
No, 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 I completely relate. And it's true. You kind of feel like that you're on that island of misfit toys. At least I always kind of
Yeah,
relate it to that. Because when I was
that's a
in the same
perfect
boat,
analogy.
yeah, I was in the same boat. I felt awkward, and I grew, joined the group of weirdos. Even though, we're all really good people, we're just outcasted because we're not, part of the norm. But
It's
you're right. It's
funny
like
too.
you get that mix where people want to be just accepted, and that's it.
Well, we crave tribalism, and we talked about this before. Like it's something that is wired in you. Even if, like, I enjoy my solitude as an adult because it gives me time to reflect, and I can be with myself, and I can appreciate that. But as a youth, I hated that.
Hmm.
I had to be around other people. Like, I hated being alone, and it was like maddening, because I was always grounded. Like, I was grounded for something. Uh, I don't know, I think most of my middle school career, most of my high school career, I was on grounded or on probation for something. Like, I was always doing something wrong.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I can relate to that. You gotta when a teenager has a lot of energy and they just have to find a way to get it out.
Yeah, well, I asked that age old question, the why, about everything. Well,
Mm.
why? Like, and well, sometimes I found out the why is, well, just because, or because you're dumb and you broke the law, and that's why.
Yeah,
So
that's understandable.
it
So
happens from time to time.
it sounds like you had a lot of interesting experiences when you were younger, and you learned a lot. So you really wanted to just kind of collect these little nuggets of wisdom and just put them in like one little book for your son. That way he didn't make the same mistakes. If I'm
Yeah,
kind of
yeah, I
get
wanted to prevent, because I mean that's a parent's job, right?
yeah.
Is we have to, take our parents' wisdom and knowledge and then perfect it a little bit more and then perfect it a little bit more. Each time we're kind of climbing up, breaking the cycle, or however you want to put it on the grand poster of what we're doing here. But my dad wasn't a bad guy. Neither was my mom. They were two messed up kids that had a baby. They got married. They had jobs. They did their part, like, I didn't even do the marriage part. I just had a kid out of wedlock and it just continued to be a dirtbag. So, like, I missed that memo part, but I tried to improve it just a little bit more. My dad wasn't in my life all the time, so I made sure that I was in his life all the time. So I've made improvements, I think.
Yeah, I would say
I'd
so.
like to think so. You
Yeah,
know,
it goes effort. It goes a long ways. I feel like, and the mindset goes a long way. So if you sounds like you had that mindset that you wanted to be what you needed when you were a kid.
yeah, because I made it a point to be very honest with my kid. I became a father at 23. I didn't know how to be a father. There's a picture of me holding the him right after he was born, and it's just fear face. Like, uh, I have no idea what I'm doing. I've never changed a diaper. I've never had a baby. Like, I don't. I feel like I'm going to break this thing. I'm definitely going to screw it up. It's definitely going to be more screwed up than I am. I mean, there's pictures of the kid with like a 22-inch gold chain that my buddy bought, and he's just walking around dressing like a gangbanger. I'm like, oh yeah, great. This kid's he's on the path to success here. Yeah, but he's 20, man, and he's never come home in a cop car. So I mean, has he done things that he probably should have gotten in trouble for? Yeah, of course. He's a mouthy punk, but he's my punk.
Yeah.
So
So I'd say
I
it's
don't
a
know.
win. A win is a win.
A win is a win, man, because at 13, I was on my first supervised probation. Probation. I can't even say that word. Yeah. I had a probation officer at 13, 14,
Mm.
and I still remember it. Like, I framed my probation paperwork because I wanted to teach myself a lesson. I kept it in this ridiculous gold frame forever, and I did well. And then I was like 18, 19, and it just back to back to back to back, stupid things, left, right, and center, just doing dumb things all over the time, all over town. Like, it was like, God, you really didn't learn a thing, did you?
Nah, I mean, sometimes we do recycle habits. I mean, that's natural. Um, if you had, I guess, one or two kind of gold nuggets that you could share from your book of a lesson for somebody that might be listening, that might have also gone through something like that, or is just young and they need kind of a nugget.
This all right. So this is a big one. This is the thing where I got lost, right? Like I assumed that having all of these friends, hundreds, people I called friends, right? I assumed that they all had my best interest in mind. That's not the case. There's no way hundreds of people can have your best interest in mind. So if I did it all over again, I would keep that group down to like 3 or 4. Find 3 or 4 solid people that you get along with. Your ideology matches, your habits match, like your activities match, and dump all of your effort into building strong relationships early on with good people rather than trying to shotgun blast it out to hundreds of people, little spatterings of yourself. Because you're going to dump so much energy into empty people, and then you'll find out that it was kind of a waste of time.
Mm.
That was the thing that kind of hurt my feelings is like I had all these people, that I knew. And yeah, they just, when I needed them, they weren't there.
Mm. I understand completely. It's like that. The hardest wound, I feel like, is when a friend betrays you.
Yeah,
So you
that
think
was
it's solid.
that was the hard part. Is like um you kind of feel like they stabbed you in the back.
Yeah, yeah, and it really messes up your trust in people because it makes you kind of step back and go, what am I missing? What did I do to not see that coming? But it wasn't you. It was just, you. I think you said it pretty well. You extended yourself too much to too many, and that just leaves you vulnerable to somebody.
Yeah, that was the hard part, man, is because I realized how invaluable I actually was to a lot of people when I had nothing to offer. Like when I was at my lowest. Now I'd been broke punk rocker before. That's fine. Being broke is fine. Living off the top ramen and macaroni and cheese, that's almost cool when you're in your early 20s, late teens,
Yeah,
That's like the expected thing. But when you're, 25 years old, you've already started building towards a career and then you lose everything. So you've already set like this path for everybody else to kind of expect things from you. And
yeah.
then you just snatch it away because you can't. The explanation doesn't matter to them.
I feel like what happens when we kind of look at a moment like that where somebody that you felt like was solid and they flip up on you or they switch up on you and it sets you back. It gives you that opportunity to think about what exactly can you adjust in your own life or your own behavior. That way you don't necessarily cut everybody off, but you just adjust how you kind of interact with people.
The interesting part was, and I believe we talked about this earlier in our earlier conversations, is people that I had known for years. Like there was a lot of drama going on in my hometown. A lot of crime, a lot of drug dealing, a lot of people rolling over on other people, but the big rule was never snitch, right? That's how I was raised. There was an incident that involved my kid's mom and a crime ring she was a part of. They raided my house looking for her, and I simply shared information. And somehow that transpired into I was a rat. And people that I had known, one guy from the third grade, another guy that I had known really closely for several years, that talking to like, I'm a snitch. And I'm like, whoa, whoa, whoa. First off, they raided my house, which she's never lived there. Secondly, they just asked me if this was her address, and I said yes. Like, the other address. And somehow or another, that transpired to being the ultimate evil, right?
Mm.
This travel in life sucks sometimes.
Yeah, I can see how that would be kind of misconstrued, or at least kind of villainized in almost an embellishment, because it's not
It's
necessarily
true.
a snitching or ratting out somebody when you just simply answer a question.
Yeah, like I didn't see it that way. I guess if you didn't know the context, I don't know. I just find it hard to believe that somebody I'd known since the third grade would be like, "Oh, you're a rat."
Mm.
Dude, I know so many things about you and I've never said a word. Like,
Right, right.
but this is the scenario. Okay.
Which probably led to more complications, I'm assuming, if somebody started thinking that you were a rat or a snitch.
Yeah, there was it was explained to me that there was 2 kill orders on me, which I
Mm.
thought was hilarious. Like you're going to kill me now for something that isn't. It's so stupid. And I make sure that I point it out in the book when I'm talking about this is because I'm not the only one that gets wrapped up in dumb shit like this. Like there are kids throwing their lives away because they believe in stuff like this,
Yeah,
just like I did. And, for what? So they can turn on you? No. No, I'm good. You know?
yeah, yeah. It sounds like it would be kind of a waste of effort and time, really, to kind of get caught up in that fantasy that you're some type of gangbanger and that there's loyalty in the gang, which obviously there isn't.
Yeah. No, there isn't. Because it's funny, my hometown, there's a really well known guy who did like 10 years up on the east side of, or up on the East Coast, came home, and now he brags to everybody that he ratted on everybody, and everybody thinks he's hilarious. But he's very open that he ratted on people to get a better deal. So clearly, it's not an issue
Yeah,
if you're this person. But if it's me, then that's totally different. Okay, makes sense.
yeah, yeah. Which is interesting. It's interesting that there's double standards there. It
There's
almost
double
reminds me
standard.
of like high school when if you're not the popular kid or you get ganged up against, that's pretty much it for you. Everyone's going to go against you.
Yeah, yeah, pretty much. Like step out of line one time, and then somebody's gonna punch your ticket. But
Yeah, yeah.
if
So
you're part of this crew, though, it's fine.
yeah, if you're in the in crowd, yeah, then you're protected. You can do no wrong. Uh, so if you could kind of share any advice for somebody that, let's say, is wants to share their story and they want to kind of do the same thing, kind of gather all their little wisdoms and their little experience in life and kind of share it so that others don't make the same mistakes. What was your kind of approach to that when you needed to kind of gather and then put it into like a single book?
Well, all right. So, I mean, I guess the big play, right? We already talked about like what the original point was, but then it morphed into like a book where I had people try to give me advice, but because we weren't of the same age or same career, same status, like it never resonated with me. Like it wasn't that I was disrespectful, but I didn't appreciate it because I couldn't identify with them. So if I was to do it all over again to give myself advice, I would say, don't doubt it. Don't doubt the process because you never know who needs to read that. You never know who you're going to inspire because I've actually had people read it and they're like, wow, like this is so freeing because, and then they'll share a personal story of something that they've been hiding and guarding. So your words, your stories, your music, whatever your art form is, could free somebody from a prison that they know they're in, but they don't want to admit that they're in. So that would be my advice, is you never know who you can help by just simple conversations.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sometimes it starts to be a book.
Hmm. Yeah. No, I completely relate. I feel like that's pretty much it, is you do just need to get it out there. Just start. Let it,
Well, and
let
that,
it happen.
I mean, I think we talked about it. Jelly Roll. Look at Jelly Roll's impact. Dope dealer, crime boy, trying to be a gangster rapper, and then he makes it in country music, and now he sings about all of his struggles. See the stadiums, 50,000 plus people. And I mean, he's making an impact. People are resonating with his story through his songs. It's crazy kind of people that can actually free entire nations or groups of people with just simple things. And I mean, I wasn't even a huge fan of his until, I heard a couple songs. I was like, holy, did he take that out of my book? Like, hey, did he read my book?
Yeah. Yeah. It just resonated so well. And that is
It,
magic.
it felt like he was talking to me in a few of them, and I was like, damn, now I'm glad I wrote that down.
Yeah. Yeah. Takes that loneliness out, or that feeling like, somebody does understand.
It can be very lonely out there. It's easy to isolate. It's easy to go down that rabbit hole and hide, and nobody wants anybody to look down on them for something that it is, whatever it is, mental illness or some kind of weird quirk or twitch or whatever it is. Everybody's weird in some kind of way. Like, but we're all terrified for anybody to know. Like, come on, we're all screwed up. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm half nuts. I spent most of my life as an addict. I have full on conversations with myself
Mm.
all the time. I'm pretty sure that's not healthy.
Yeah. I mean, it is common in it when we kind of look at ourselves and we kind of realize that we are all kind of goofy. We're all kind of messed up in a little ways. And then some people are
It,
just really good at hiding.
it's the ones that don't admit it are the ones you need to be worried about.
Yeah. Yeah. That pretends.
Or you need to help them and inspire them to not be as fearful. Because I'm a rather guarded person. Uh, that's why AA and NA didn't really work for me. I didn't want other people to look down on me. I know, poor timing, poor place to think that way. But for me, those kind of programs didn't work because, God forbid, if I gave up the control of feeling superior in a situation. So I would do anything to prove all of that stuff wrong. And it's horrible of why I did it, but it's one of those things. It's how I'm wired.
Yeah. Protect
I
yourself.
just, yeah, I couldn't allow people to think that I was weak ever for any reason.
I can understand that. Yeah. And as a man, it's kind of like in our programming. It's like, in our conditioning. We just don't want to be seen as a weak man.
No, no. And I'm not even advocating for being weak, but being vulnerable, allowing, conversation, allowing thoughts and ideas to get through without being some alpha dog drinking Cobra blood and like bench pressing Buicks. That's a little unnecessary. Like, be funny, be charismatic, be genuine. If you like to lift weights, also cool, but you don't have to be a dick. Like, come on. Like,
That's probably the best piece of advice right there, is to close it off with, you can do anything you want. Just don't be a dick.
that's why Buddha said it
Yeah.
9 different times.
I
Just
love
don't
it.
be a dick.
Don't be a dick. And it's interesting how we can kind of surmise all of that, all of the lessons and all of the chaos and all of that, those pieces of nuggets down into just a simple statement of just don't be a dick. Everything will be all right.
Yeah. I mean, sure. You can run your entire life. You can be an asshole. You can be a control freak. You can do whatever you want. But it's lonely at the top.
Yeah.
It's super lonely up there, especially if you spend your whole life stepping on the necks of other people to get there. And I tell the same guys in my profession, like, look, man, yeah, sure, you could knife your guy in the back here so you can get a raise, but remember, this is a small community of people, and you might get a $2 an hour raise. You might. But you might also catch an ass whooping at a Publix. I'm just saying, it's possible.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Don't be a dick.
It's just cause and effect, really, and it's kind of the way of the universe to balance itself out.
Yeah. I mean, I try to be open-minded regardless of the content. And if I don't have anything nice to say, I just don't talk about it.
Yeah. Yeah. Which is
That's simple.
It's a good way to go. I feel like that's pretty much a great way to end it is if you don't have something great to say or nice to say, just kind of keep it to yourself. Nobody needs to know your opinion.
No, they don't. And, it's the same thing I tell my guys. Like if you want to be successful, build a family around your success. Build a friend group around success, your success, a shared success. And then take those experiences and do epic shit. Don't let anybody else get in the way. Don't ask for any opinions outside of those groups. It doesn't matter. It doesn't. Nobody outside of that group even matters.
Yeah.
You can bring in more people all you want, but it's going to dilute the experience. It's going to take away from this or that, and you're going to have to make choices. And no, if you really want to build something beautiful and long term, keep it small. Keep it simple.
Yeah. Keep it simple.
Keep it on.
Yeah. And then keep it honest. Everything needs to be transparent, as they say.
Yeah. I mean, of course, everybody has their own, I'm not saying air out all your dirty laundry, but,
just keep it on the up and up, keep it up and up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Treat people how you want to be treated, man. And that's the whole thing with the book is like, yeah, there's some ridiculous statements in there. Yeah, there's some ridiculous things that I did in there. I mean, I don't know too many people that tried to kidnap a fur seal for funsies, drunk with their best friend, but at the same token, I had to go through how crazy my life was just for fun to kind of drive home the person you were dealing with was a giant child. I'm still a giant child. I don't try to do illegal things anymore, but I still play video games. I still make stupid jokes. I still watch cartoons,
Yeah.
But,
Yeah.
I had to paint the path of this young man that was trying to figure himself out. And I think I did well. I just need other people to start to see it too.
Yeah. Yeah. Which I think that this is a good start. Just kind of sharing your story, putting your book out there, letting people know. That's a great start. And I think if you keep going, I mean, it's just a matter of time, really.
Yeah. I mailed a copy to Jelly Roll. I mean, I figure I signed it, I autographed it, whatever. If it gets to him, cool. If it doesn't get to him, I'm going to keep trying. But if his music can impact somebody, or millions, hundreds of millions probably, if he could read the words in my book, and even a 10-second plug could be a game changer, I'm not even asking for that. I made sure I put that in the letter that I wasn't asking for nothing. I just wanted him to have a copy, but it's there. The content's there. It's a real story about a real person who really struggled. And 20 years ago, we wouldn't have this conversation. I would have lied to you for this whole thing. I would have treated this like a police interrogation. It would have been awkward from day one, and I wouldn't have told you nothing.
Yeah.
But I got tired, man. I got tired of hiding. I got tired of pretending that I was something that I'm not, and I'm just some kid. I'm some kid from Alaska. I made a lot of poor choices. I learned a lot of lessons. Somehow, I made it this far. So if I can do it, anybody can do it.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I can appreciate that, and I'm thankful that you decided to keep going, and that you not only took your lessons, but you turned it into something that you could put back out into the world for others to learn from. Because that's really the most important thing that we need to do with our experience, especially the hardship, is put it back into the world for others.
Yeah. I mean, there's no bigger truth than you will be tested. We all will be tested multiple times by whatever. It doesn't really matter. I'm not going to put a label on it, but we will be tested.
Yeah.
And we will fail a lot.
A lot. Yeah. Well, thank you for
That's all
that.
right, little buddy. Put your
Thank you
crash
for,
helmet on, put a mouth guard in, and get back in there. All right, you're gonna be fine.
well, that's I think that's really it in a nutshell. Is just keep failing until you make it. Um, and I can appreciate that. I appreciate your lessons too, the wisdom and lessons that you shared with us today. And if people are interested in getting your book, please go ahead and let them know where they can find it.
So it is available on Amazon. The one you want is the one with this beautiful cover here. Unknown Citizen is the artist that actually designed my cover. Fantastic artist. She's on my Facebook. But you want the Lost Stories edition because you're going to get more bang for your buck. You can find the original version, but it's about 90 pages short. And, this one's got a cooler cover. So, but yeah, Amazon, it's on there. Kindle, hardcover, softcover. I am working on an audiobook because I too also enjoy audio.
Oh
Because sometimes I'm lazy.
yeah, I
But
know. I understand.
maybe a short film in the future. I don't know.
That'd be cool. Yeah.
That'd be kind of neat. I'm not going to lie.
Short film, animation, either one.
Yeah. I just got to find somebody that can do cartoons.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate your time, and I thank you for all the wisdom and nuggets that you kind of shared with me today, as well as anybody that's listening. And I look forward to learning more about you, because it sounds like you have a lot of stories and a lot of experience.
I've been through some shit, man. Been through some shit.
I'll have to
That's
do this again.
Yeah, for sure, man. I enjoy it. I'm on all the social medias: Instagram, TikTok, Facebook. Facebook, I'm just a regular person on there. It's a public profile. Add yourself, follow me, come shoot me a message. TikTok, it's Mr. Defiant. Same thing with Instagram. Just jump on there. If you need help, I'll do my best to help you.
Beautiful. That's beautiful. Well, this has been Jeremy Eichenberger, which I hope I said that right.
You got it.
And this has been Push with Love. And please remember to like and subscribe. And until next time, take care.
See you guys.